that really remind me of old school Metal Gear, but the way it's developed the idea of the view cone, where the enemy can see you, is really cool. Instead of having a mini-map that shows you all of that information, it's projected on the actual main map, and the view cone itself actually gives you the various stages, the evasion stage, blah blah blah. I'm obviously using Metal Gear terminology to explain this, but it really reminds me of the older school Metal Gear, which is good. I'm kind of been craving something like this for a while, and given how long it's been since a Desperados title, like I said, there hasn't been a game in this series since 2007, and in truth, I've pretty much forgotten the state. What's cool is it is actually narrative driven, so while it refers to itself as a real-time tactics stealth game or a strategy stealth game, it doesn't just aim to suck you in through the gameplay, but trying to give you an immersive world and real motivations to complete these missions. It's obviously set in the Wild West cowboy game, but you have 5 different characters with different skills and the ability to do non-lethal and lethal. Honestly, it looks like a ton of fun. I can't wait to play it. Desperados 3 is coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. And number 6 is The Elder Scrolls Online Framework. Build as a 17-year-old part of Skyrim. The official plot is stop it with vampire wars from enslaved vampires. But is a true continuation of the story that began in Harrowstone. Now, though you have seen Skyrim and Elder Scrolls, the entirety of Western Skyrim is unlocked in Greymoor. According to Bethesda, this is going to be a 30-hour quest, and is actually the start of a dark part of Skyrim's year-long adventure. Greymoor being the first chapter, so there's a lot more to do aside from these 30 hours that you promised. Also, there's something they're calling an antiquity system, where you'll uncover the world's hidden history or market materials. Obviously, it's an elaborate lore system, which is fine. I mean, it's probably a bit of a collectathon in some respects. However, I do think for a lot of people that's actually fun. Uncovering the history of Skyrim that's not something I don't want to do. Greymoor itself is history. It happens 900 years before the actual Skyrim game. So it should be really interesting to see exactly what it is about Skyrim. And of course, it will always be a region of Elven with a much better look. And number 5 is Ninjula, which is a Splatoon-like, for lack of a better term. However, I've actually identified it as a big progress. Let's just go with this last year. If you remember that series, if you basically made those games into a multiplayer game very akin to Splatoon, I believe this is essentially what you'd have. As far as the look, it definitely apes Splatoon a lot more than anything else. But instead of painting, you're hacking and slashing with ninja weapons, doing disguises that are, quite frankly, very silly, and enjoying a killer, very Legend of Mystical Ninja-ish, samurai-sounding soundtrack. I may be projecting the Legend of Mystical Ninja stuff onto it, I don't know. I haven't played it yet, of course, but I'm really excited for it. It looks like a super fun game, and like the yo-yo concept got quite interesting, silly the right way, and it is free to play, which offers this advantage of I don't have it day one, no question, but also does open the door to some stuff that we obviously aren't super excited about. We'll see exactly to what extent that stuff makes its appearance, but outside of that concern, this looks like possibly one of the most fun multiplayer games. And if it turns out to be as good as it looks, then it's my opinion that we have a real contender for Switch multiplayer game of the year. That game is hitting June 24th. I will be checking it out. At number 4, Disintegration is an interesting looking game. It bills itself as a sci-fi FPS with RTS. Now the way I've kind of translated this mentally is it looks a lot like you pilot these devices called grab cycles, and in some ways they're the small team, and it reminds me of the vision of like a robot. And I think kind of along the lines of like you have the ability to direct your team to target, perform various tasks, collect things, etc. And I think it's actually a really there's also PvP multiplayer with pilots and crews, which sounds like it could have a lot of potential given the combination of high school games we're talking about. Disintegration is making its way onto PC, but also the two major console platforms, PS4 and Xbox One. On June 16th, I'm probably going to try it on PC. It looks like something that might be a little easier to control there, but we'll see. And number 3 is SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Hydration, which is one of those games that you have to download for only. It was a long time ago when it was PlayStation 2, Xbox One. That was back in 2008 game but they've done a lot in updating it, so it doesn't really look quite as nightmarish. And yeah, that's the kind of game it looked like. Because they didn't really have like toon shading in it. They had kind of weirdly just lack of detail type shading. But they've gone ahead and made this a very colorful remake. They've added a lot to the visual aesthetic in that respect, as well as making it so that the characters themselves don't have nightmarish shadows all over them all the time. The lighting behaves a lot more like a cartoon, and it overall just looks a lot better. It looks like the core game itself, even down to the levels that was preserved. At the time, it was kind of partially removed on account of the and it came out at a time when it was literally just a million. However, looking back, it's actually pretty darn good. They went back to the mix. They've also added a multiplayer element as well as content. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Hydrated comes to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on the 23rd. And number 2 is Valorant, a new game from the League of Legends creators at Riot Games. Valorant is billing itself as a tactical shooter along the lines of Rainbow Six Siege or CSGO. There are some obvious other elements here. For instance, they call the characters agents. Strategically speaking, that comes as however, as far as the style of play, they really want to think along the lines. The main mode of the game is to plant bombs, again, like I said, CSGO very much. Well, the other two guys stop it, but it looks to add so much stuff that it feels like something different altogether. Now, I'm very intrigued by this. I think that it sounds put together well enough that adding abilities to CSGO and a pseudo-class system that doesn't actually take it all the way over to Overwatch sounds like a pretty tantalizing idea. These are apparently fast-paced matches that, if they manage to go on way too long, are an hour. First to 13 rounds is the winner, and I imagine it makes a good one. I don't know, looks and sounds really good to me. Valorant comes out on PC, it's free to play, and it'll be hitting June 2nd. And finally, at number 1 is The Last of Us Part 2. Of course, a game that you could spoil for yourself very badly. But overall, we're talking about the next installment is something that we're very happy has become a series. We're very interested to see where it goes. I've managed not to spoil it myself. Despite you saying this to me. No, that's right, I'm not looking at Twitter. I can't see it. In all seriousness, what happened at the end of the first game has had us all very curious for a very long time. But that's not the only reason to go into this. What it really looks like is that it's expanded upon that I think looks like a big jump. We're talking a lot of different stealth mechanics. We're talking a jump button. We're talking more vertical combat situations. Ellie, being the main character of the game, makes the game fairly different from Joel, because Joel is a big fella who's strong. Ellie's a bit smaller and a little more nimble, and they've made systems that accommodate that. Also, they've tried to make it so the stuff you find in the environment is more useful for you, and I'm just looking forward to seeing exactly how far they were able to take it. Last of Us 2 comes out PS4 June 19th. Also, we got a couple of bonus games for you. First, Command & Conquer Remastered Edition. And I'm pretty stoked about this, because although I wasn't really big into the original Command & Conquer, I played Command & Conquer Red Alert so much, and I can totally see myself doing absolutely right. They've remastered the graphics to be 4K, and they actually go ahead and switch to full graphics. I'm not really 100% sure which I prefer. The new looks very much like the old, except for much higher detail, and the game looks really intact. I'm at very least going to play Red Alert again. It's that simple. The Command & Conquer Remastered Edition Chapter 2, Season 3. Fortnite is obviously one of the bigger forces in gaming, so it's not to mention it. And of course, anybody who is